Welcome back to another episode of the Be Better podcast. My name is Harrison Orr. I am your host, and it is my mission to help people live to their highest potential, both through my mushroom extract business, Primal Energy, as well as through my coaching endeavors at the Uncommon Man Project. I'm a husband, a father, a health enthusiast, a holistic health nut, and just overall enthusiast for learning in life, right? And so in this podcast, it is my endeavor to be able to share everything that I've learned, that I've experienced, both personally and through the clients that I've coached, so that you can get the lesson without the scar and just be better faster. Because if I had someone 10 years ago that was able to help me navigate a lot of the lessons that I've had to learn personally through experience, I would be a hell of a lot further, and I would be extremely grateful. So that is my mission to you as I'm going through life, especially growing these businesses and also my own endeavors. And so in today's podcast, I wanted to share a bit of a personal story that happened to me literally just yesterday. And something similar has been happening with a few of my clients in their journey recently. And obviously I'm not going to share details about their journeys without their permission, but in relation to my experience, so anyone that's been in a space where you're trying to change, you've got a direction in life, you've got a goal, you've got something that you're trying to achieve, and you've got people that maybe don't believe in you, or they don't believe that that is a worthwhile pursuit, or they have a different idea of who you are, and by you achieving that or you going after that, it goes against their idea of you, and so they want to shut you down. Whether it's for, a business idea. I know a hell of a lot of people that don't have the belief from their inner circle. They might say like, oh yeah, go for it, man. But they try and shut them down in terms of, come on, man, be realistic. Do you think it's really going to work? And they're just not supportive at all. And so I'll talk about my story first of all, because this might paint a bit better of a picture. And so this person has been quite a significant influence in my life. Like one of the main influences that got me into the coaching space in general, the online coaching space, I should say. And so we had this conversation, and he was basically challenging me on my intentions behind the season that I'm in. He made a request. I said, sorry, I don't think that's what I need in this season that I'm in right now, because I'm very in where I'm at right now. I'm very face down, ass up. Like, take action, get feedback, take more action, like grind, like go. Like, worry about all the macro shit later. Right now, we're building the base, we're building the foundation as wide as we possibly can, so that we can just build this as high as we possibly can for our impact, for our families, for like everything that we're trying to do. And he challenged me on that. And basically it got to a point where he said, well, man, if that's the route that you want to go, I need to respect that, but I think we need to part ways here. And I was kind of taken back, like the fact that by me being in this season and setting this boundary, because, for me as well, that was a big step in my learning as well, because, me a few years ago would have just bended, folded, regardless of what I thought or what I felt, just like, oh yeah, sure, man, we'll do this, we'll do that, and just said yes to everything. But now I've come a long way in terms of being able to set those boundaries and say, that doesn't actually serve me right now. No, it's nothing personal. It's nothing, no offense on you. It's not a fuck you. It's not get out of my life. It's cool. This isn't helping me to achieve my main priority right now. So I'll respectfully decline. And by setting that boundary, it was taken as a very much of, well, you're either with us or you're against us type attitude. And so you might have some people like that in your life, whether it's through personal beliefs, maybe it's religion or political or certain health or spiritual practices, that may not be the norm in your family, in your society, in your culture, in your group of friends, of whatever circle that you're kind of in. And by you pursuing that, people see that as a threat, and then will seek to push you out or ostracize you. And so this brings up a very real point to me as to who you can really count on in your life. And so it can be hard to distinguish. Moments like this will definitely bring it out in people, but when you can just establish, is probably a better word, why someone likes you or loves you. Because if someone has a viewpoint of who you are, you are this type of person and you need to fit this mold of who I think you are. And then as soon as you go away from that mold, because it's against their beliefs, it inconveniences them, or it just doesn't suit them for you to go down this path, and then they change their beliefs, that conditional love type thing, then it becomes much easier to identify that these people don't love you for who you are. They love you for what you do for them. Or they love you for the mold, like when you fit the mold of who they think you should be or who they think you are. And so when you're struggling with your identity or where you want to go in life or some of these bigger questions, taking criticism and trying to appease the people that have that viewpoint of you, that will only love you and accept you if you fit this mold of who they think you should be, probably not the best people to rely on for that acceptance, for that love, or for that criticism. Because whilst they might say they want the best for you, only when it suits them, only when it makes them comfortable, right? So when you're pursuing these goals or this change, eventually someone's idea of you has to die. Whether it's their idea of you and you trying to live to that idea of like, well, they think that I'm this type of person, so I'll do my best when I'm in their company to meet that mold, and I will be that person. And you can keep trying and trying and trying, but if that goes against your values, against who you want to be, against what you want to do in life, eventually you will get worn down. There will be this emptiness inside of you that is screaming for attention, but you keep pushing it down. Or you can take the risk and go the other side and be who you authentically want to be and let their version of you die so that you can be who you want to be and do the things that you want to do and align yourself with your values and your beliefs and do what you want to do with your life instead of theirs. Because I'll give you a hint. Every single person you have ever met and will ever meet in your life will have a different perception of you. Every person that I've ever met will, in their mind, when they think Harrison Orr, will think of a different version of me, will have a different memory in mind. Some people might think I'm this super fitness addicted freak. Other people might think I'm an absolute asshole. Some people might just think I'm this online coach, this guy that makes mushrooms and stuff. Other people might think I'm a total knob. Others might think I'm just this bland, boring, shy guy. And to some extent, they're all kind of right, but not entirely. That's just maybe the version of me that they got on that day, or the version that they saw through whatever experience that they were living. Maybe they were having a shit time and I was just the person that tipped them over the edge, or they just unleashed at me, so I copped it for whatever reason. And so every person is going to have a different idea of who you are. Your mum, your dad, your neighbors, your friends, your partner, your kids, your people at work, like everyone you ever meet. And so if you spend your life trying to be the version of you that they think you are, it's going to be exhausting. It is going to be very incongruent and it's going to be hard. And eventually, you're still not going to win. Because that's a typical nice guy trait. Trying to be who other people want you to be. And then especially when they then turn around and either don't like that version that you're trying to be, or they get mad or frustrated at you, or they don't treat you the way that you anticipate, even though you're putting in this effort, then what? You get resentful, you get frustrated, you get mad. And why? Because you were trying to be something that you're not to impress someone that has this that you think has an idea about you that you don't even know what it is, but you're guessing, just to make them what? Like you? For them to feel comfortable? For them to accept you? For them to sleep with you? Like, what is it? And so you can go through life with that attitude and trying to get everyone to like you. And then you have maybe a bunch of surface level friends, because does anyone really know the real you? Do you even know the real you if you're trying to be so many people? But then eventually, when you have values and beliefs and you know who you are and you know what your intentions are, you're going to have to set some boundaries. And naturally, you're going to, I wouldn't say piss people off, but that's going to upset some people. Whether it's because they don't believe what you believe, you have a different perspective, or they just can't see what you see. At the end of your life, you can either get there and be regretful that I wish I had done what I wanted to do with my life. I wish I'd started that business. I wish I'd shot my shot with that person. I wish I'd been more authentic with my life, because trying to please other people didn't get me very far. And so, for the people that truly love you, and this, if you've been people pleasing your entire life, and trust me, I spent 90% of my life at this point being a people pleaser. When you spend that much of your time, it's hard to know even who you are. But when you start to act authentically, life becomes a lot easier. You don't have to pretend to like people, to want to do things. You actually start to find confidence in yourself and realize that I actually can just say, no, I don't want to do that, because I don't want to. You don't need to make up an excuse. You don't need a reason. You don't need to justify it. It's like, dude, I just don't want to do that. So then the people that are in your life, the people that do stay around, are the people that love you for who you are and want to be around you for who you are, not for who they think you should be or for what you do for them. Because there's going to be a lot of people in life, maybe now, maybe you're already thinking of a few, they only really like me and want to hang out when we go out drinking or we go partying. Or they only really want to hang out when we go camping and we can bring the boat. Or he only wants to see me when, I've got this, like, to come and use the outdoor entertainment area because we got the flat screen and the spa outside. Or they only like you because of your money or because of some connection with you, or they use you for something. But without those material things or without those actions, they actually don't really like you. And so that can be a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow, especially when you realize some of those people are family, are close people to your life. They want you to fit this mold of, if you break this mold, you can't be one of us. If you're not the same religion as us, you can't be one of us. If you don't believe this, you can't be one of us. If you don't support this political party, if you don't believe this about the government, about the vaccine, about health, about whatever other strong belief or value that you might hold, you can't be one of us. And then watch how quickly those conversations die, those interactions die, those relationships even die. But again, in the long run, how much energy are you willing to expend entertaining these people in these relationships that maybe aren't serving you and are even holding you back? Imagine if every interaction you had with another human being, you could be your authentic self. You could talk about what you wanted to talk about, your values, your interests. If you're into health, if you're into business, if you're into biohacking, if you're into all the cool stuff that I'm into, and you probably are, that's why you're listening to this. If you're into, like psychology and mindset and NLP and all these things, and you got to have conversations with people about those things every time, how much more would you love life? How much more would you grow because you're having engaging conversations? I don't know about you, but I know there's some people in my life that I have conversations with and I dread them because it's always surface level. It's like, hey, how was your week? What are you doing on the weekend? Yeah, okay, what about this? How are the kids? And it's just boring. It's nothing of substance. But then you have those other people where you have this conversation and then you click, and then within 5 minutes you're like balls deep in this, like in this topic, and you're speaking. You can tell by the way that you speak. I don't know about you, but when I get excited, I talk with more passion, with more energy. I use my hands a lot more. You can tell in my voice, it comes from my chest. It comes from deeper down rather than just talking like this, and it comes from my throat, and it's very logical and very boring to listen to. And so when you find people that you can have that type of conversation with, it's electric, it's energizing, it's fulfilling even. And so I used to be someone that resonated with the label introvert. I was shy, I was awkward, I was introverted, I wouldn't speak to people, I wasn't much of a conversationalist, communication wasn't a strong suit. And I worked on that a lot. But I've also realized that part of that, not all of that, part of that is who you're with. Because there are some people that, yes, I very much still fit into that mold because I don't have much in common with them. It's a hard conversation. It's not something that I'm interested in talking about. There's other people that I talk to that I won't shut the fuck up because we get along on such this wavelength that we go into those topics that we can talk about for hours. And then it's like when you get into that flow state, you look down like, holy shit, we've been in this same spot for 3 hours. It feels like 5 minutes. Those are the kind of relationships that I want to have. Those are the kind of conversations that I want to be having. And so to wrap this up, if you feel like there's people in your life that, and not to say not all these people are bad people, right? These aren't malicious intentions by a lot of these people by putting you in this box or having this mold for you. But eventually, one of you is going to have to cave. Either you're going to have to set some boundaries and say, maybe that's not who I am anymore. This is what I want to do. And either you can respect that and we can continue this friendship or this relationship and keep going on. Or if that offends you so much and it upsets you so much that this is the direction I want to take in life and that you can't stand that version of me, you can't seem to me to do that, then I'm sorry, but I'm not going to live trying to be the version of you that you think I should be. Because it's my life. And I'm just a speck in your life. But I'm everything in mine. And so, not an easy conversation. But when you value yourself and your beliefs and your values and everything that you are, more than what anyone else can think, those conversations become a hell of a lot easier. Because it's not, well, if you're not with me, you're against me, fuck you. It's, this is what I want to do. If you're okay with that and like you want to see me win and you still want to be a part of this, awesome. If you don't, awesome. But I'm not slowing down for you. And so, as always, an element of these Be Better podcasts is action as well. I don't just want to spew stories at you or tactics or tools, whatever it might be, and you think, oh, that was an interesting story, and then go about your life and change nothing. If you're in that spot right now where maybe you're thinking you don't have the support, or maybe you feel like you're holding back because of the judgment of others or the potential rejection or the repercussions in some of your relationships by you making certain moves, of course, this comes back to obviously your intention. We're not talking about hurting people or doing anything malicious, but if your intentions are good, are for growth, are for bettering yourself and the lives of those around you, and you feel like that judgment is holding you back, first, work on accepting yourself. Why are you allowing other people's judgment to stop you from being who you want to be? When you can accept yourself and be okay with those things, I promise you those conversations will become easier. So you don't have to go out there and have those conversations. Oh, you're with me or you're against me, fuck off. And then cut all these people from your life. Don't go burning bridges. But first come to that realization for yourself. Where am I bending to suit other people's molds in my life, and why? Why am I not valuing my own opinions and my own growth in my own life more than anybody else's? And then when you can start to accept and work on that so that you matter more than anyone else in this world for your life, then you can progress onto that. And so I'll wrap that up there. I hope this has been helpful. If it has, and this is either the boost in confidence or the permission even that you needed to be who you want to be and chase that goal, start that business, take that direction, whatever it might be, I'd love to hear from you. But if not, I hope it's helpful. Have an amazing day, my friend, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.